Hello everyone, I'm Jack Cronin and very welcome to the 9th episode of All Things Football. I'm delighted to be joined by John Sullivan. John is a former professional in the League of Ireland and he's currently head coach with DLR Waves, which are a women's national league team. So delighted to be joined by John. John, thanks for taking your time out.
Thanks so much for having me on.
How's things treating you?
Yeah, good. Everything's going fantastic at the moment. Don't know if you're allowed to say such words out loud. But it is. Life is good. I'm in good health. Business is going well. Waves are going well. Myself and a business partner have actually just launched a new fitness studio in the area.
Very good.
Yeah, to which I'm very excited to get up and running.
Happy days, so you're kept busy anyway.
Yeah.
Good stuff. We'll get straight into it, your football career. I'd obviously know you throughout the league and stuff like that, playing with Crumlin and so on. We'll go back straight to the start. Just tell me a little bit how you got into football and how you started out with.
I guess like majority of people just you see people playing on the streets and you just join in, in the flats. And I think there was a team called Celtic. Jeez, I would have been 7, everyone else would have been 11 or something. And I just train, and again, you'd never get a game, but you just have to be amongst something. And then I used to read the papers, of course, back then the papers were a big thing, and see like St. Pat's having trials, and it's funny because I watched Ireland Ireland played a year above me at Pat's.
Oh, right, I see.
I didn't know him back then. I just remember a kid being called Noddy. He was a very, very good footballer. I didn't actually know him. But yeah, I went to Pat's when I was like 8 and 9, and I was with them, and I just kicked on from there really.
Good stuff. So you said you were with Pats then. How many schoolboy clubs did you actually play with? And just tell me a little bit about your schoolboy career. Maybe so I assume you were playing DDSL football, yeah?
Yeah, I played with Pats 8s and 9s, and then I went to Lourdes. A friend of mine invited me to Lourdes. A friend at the time was in class with him. Again, I didn't even know who Lourdes were. I didn't really have much of an interest in the bubble that outside the bubble that I was already in. And we played against this team up in Sundrive Hill, and they absolutely spanked us. I'm not messing, I think it was about 12 nil, and I was really, really upset. I was devastated. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, my team are rubbish. And then I was like, so who's your team? And he was like, oh, I play with Lourdes, and that was our team. And I was like, wow, some footballers. And he was like, if you want, I can ask your manager to come up and train. I was like, yeah, please. So I went up and trained, and Shayla Strange at the time, his wife Julie, they were the coaches. And they were like, yeah, we'll happily have you on board. And for me, that was a big turning point.
Yeah.
That's when I met players like Paul Timmins and Clayton Johnson at that age, and I was like, wow, the things these boys can do with football. And again, you ask them as to how and why, and they're like, just do it every day.
Practice.
Just practice.
Right.
And from that, I stayed with Lourdes up until 16s. And that's when I went to the Crumlin side, the Ireland was with.
Okay.
Yeah. It's funny, it's like I'm chasing them. That Crumlin side, and again I was in Larkin College with Aaron in class, so the two of us would sit next to each other on a Friday and we wouldn't tell each other the teams. Because we'd be playing against each other the next day. Yeah, it's funny. And Lourdes was a great club. It was a great club, and I was only till about 15, 16 till I understood the politics of football. And where I'm going with this is when I had joined Crumlin. Within that week of joining Crumlin, I automatically got picked for the Emerging Talent Ireland squad.
Oh, I see.
Up until that point, I was never in any of these squads.
Yeah.
I couldn't make the grade. But yeah, that was another turning point for me, I guess.
Yeah. I suppose as well, when you're playing, you go up to Lourdes and you just mentioned Clayton Johnson and stuff like that, and you're like, these lads can do serious things with football, and then not too long later you're getting called into the Emerging Talent, so I'm sure
I would have trained with the Emerging Talent squad, the regional development squad, from 12s to about 16s, and that was a big step up, and it was something to really look forward to. Every Monday night you're getting to train with players of other teams like Crumlin, Conor Clifford, Richie Towell, Paul Curry off Belvedere. You only get to play against these boys twice a year, but you hear so much about them. And again, you get to work with phenomenal coaches. I was Mark Kenny at the time, Tom O'Connor, Paul Martin. But again, it's phenomenal, and it's a great experience as a youth player, any player for that matter, getting the opportunity to train with everyone within the league. And again, I learned from those experiences, and the likes of that, again, it helps you improve as a player, and that would have helped me get into the development squad.
Good stuff. You mentioned there being called into the emerging talent program and stuff like that. Was there a point in your kind of youth career that you turned around to yourself and said, I think I can make it as a professional, or I want to make it as a professional?
That's a very good question. Did I really believe in myself? I don't know if I really believed in myself, to be honest. I always felt incompetent, like an imposter syndrome. Still to this day I have it. But I wanted to, just to prove people wrong. I was very enemy centred. And again, this can be dangerous or good depending on how we deal with it. Like, when we were 13, we went to the Whitehall and Ireland 15s are playing at the time. They were in Jane McCarthy's. And I went there with a friend just to watch them. And, we just talked on the bus on the way back home. And I was like, imagine playing for Ireland, that'd be amazing. And my friends were like, you will never play for Ireland. You'll never play for Ireland. You can't even get a DDSL squad, you'll never play for Ireland. And I was like, fuck that hurt. And I was like, but they're right, I need to get into that squad, before I get into that squad. So then I was like, right, let's start setting targets. So it was from those moments that I started setting targets, and I was like, right, if I could just set targets and apply myself to these areas, well then maybe I can do something. So I never really looked at being a professional. I just wanted into these groups first.
So it was kind of like a stepping stone, but there was a few steps there. So I was getting into this squad, that I could have a chance to get in.
And even at this stage, I don't even think I've got a game for Lourdes. So I was like, I need to get against my team first.
Yeah, get you.
And even now when I look at kids, and it's great to have ambitions, it's unbelievably amazing. I actually feel sad for those who don't. But we need to start off with where am I first and how do I get to the next step. So again, I'm talking TDSL and emerging talent squads and other squads. I couldn't even get in the loads of time. So I was like, right, I need to train outside of training. When I'm in training, I need to train harder and better than anyone. And I'm there to train, not to make friends and have a laugh there, all the bonuses. But I'm there to be better.
So you're playing football, we'll move on a little bit. You're playing youth football at Bows. A Scottish professional team in Hamilton come in. What's running through your mind at that point?
So it was actually it was a very scary topic era of my life. I was 16 years of age. I'd rewind it because I just finished off the 16th league with Crumman. We won a double, top of the world. You're in the papers, you're whatever, people actually know about you now from profile. In comparison, they couldn't get a game for Lewis 3 years ago. So you try to live up to that hype and expectation. But at the same time, I had my leaving cert. And within the same 3 months, we had the under-17s European finals, championships in Turkey. So people are like, you can actually become a footballer, you're going to be a footballer. I was like, yeah, cool, I'm going to be a footballer. Education went out the window. I didn't study, I couldn't study, didn't know how to. Where I'm going with this then, I thought at the time, fuck the leaving cert, don't need it, I'm going to be a footballer. Dreams and all the rest of it. So leaving cert didn't go too well. I actually got an NG in physics and chemistry. I'm not proud of that. Not proud of it at all. Didn't think I would have needed it. Of course, you're 16, you're like, what do I need that for?
Exactly.
But going back to the question was, that Crumman team split up. There was no longer a 17s league because amalgamate 17s, 18s. I didn't want to go into that. I wanted to challenge myself. So along came Bows, which was in my 20s, and I was like, okay, I guess I got to really challenge myself. I played 4 years up. And I did, and I'm with Chris Malone and Chris Madden, two fantastic coaches and a great bunch of players. We've done well, we've done very well, and during that time I had played my last tournament with the emerging talent. Believe it or not, this all in the space of the summer. So I'm telling you a lot of things you can only imagine where my head was at. That was in Holland, and a club called Vidor, HF Vidor from Denmark, Copenhagen, asked myself and Gareth Brawl to go on a trial. So we went over. She offered us a contract. Fell through for whatever else reason, but it was phenomenal. So I was in that. My mind was there. My mind was at Bowes. I had also went and tried at Hamilton, who had offered us a contract, so my mind was there. And at the same time, because I was in the false course, I know, again, so many things. And this is, again, my parents done the best they could. They really didn't delve into my football, because I asked them not to, but I didn't really have an advisory around that age group. And this is where kids really need an advisory, not so much an agent, but an advisory. I had also been offered a scholarship in Memphis from a guy called Richie Grant.
Okay.
I was like, wow, this sounds amazing, you know, college. I wasn't actually thinking about the academics, I was just thinking of playing college.
Yeah,
College
football.
movies, you see, you know, that's all I was thinking of. Then Richie was like, so tell us your grades. He was like, NG, shit. And I was like, what, you actually need that? He was like, yep, you must have a high grade in one of the science subjects. And I was like, so I would have had to go to Brownsville in Texas for a year to increase my grades, then go to Memphis. And again, you're 16, you want the world and you want it now. So I was like, pop that. I don't want that, I want to be a footballer. So yeah, Hamilton offered a contract, what was it, £100 a week. £100 a week. All my mates laughed at it. They were all like, you're fucking money, but where'd you go over there? It's only £100 a week. I didn't care about the money. Necessarily.
It was all about playing.
I just wanted to A, be a footballer, and B, pursue what I had set out since that night, the bus coming home on my way home. I just wanted to do it, to say I've done it, and see how I felt. So my parents actually were like, we're not allowing this to happen. I was like, I'm doing it. I was like, I'm doing it. This is what I want, I'm doing it. So yeah, we signed it, and it was a fantastic experience. It really was. And this may sound silly, but even at £100 a week, you know, if I could live life off that, and understanding at that age, 17 years of age, how to manage money, you know, it stood to me. Oh, I'm 29 now. You know,
proper learning experience for you, like.
Yeah, and it was phenomenal. It really was a phenomenal experience.
Just talk to me a little bit about how that move actually came about, and then was there more clubs interested? I know you mentioned like Memphis, like, so there was that move there with going across to America, but was there any other clubs, like you'll see, like if Hamilton were looking at you, could have plenty of, you know, Scottish or English clubs?
No, there wasn't. I was on trial like every other Tom, Dick and Harry in the country. With clubs like Aston Villa, Fulham, Leicester, Notts Forest, Swansea, a few others. None of them actually worked out. One I fell in love with, which was Notts Forest. I'm pretty sure every other kid did too. There was a director of called Nick Marshall. Tremendous guy, unbelievably likeable character, and phenomenal coach. And I went over maybe 6 times. I think 6 times, could have been more. And at the time I was playing left back for Lords, centre half, right back for Lords, but I was always a centre mid. So I'm going over every session, I'm like, I'm actually a centre mid. And he's like, no, I'll play here. And then we'd have a debrief every week, and he'd be like, look, you done well here, we need to add this in and add this in. And every time I'd come back with more and more and more. And I'd add in everything he asked me to add in. So the last session then, he was like, last trial there, he was like, last time you were a midfielder, played well, but you need to add in goals again. Okay. So went up in the next trial, which was the last one. Within 3 games I scored 2 goals. One was from the semicircle. And I was like, this has to be the contract, like. Devastatingly enough, he didn't speak to any single one of us. There was no debrief. And there's a movie we watched, the Talladega Nights. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a car race, and it's Will Ferrell and the other guy out of Step Brothers. It's a funny movie, but all 12 of us, 16 years of age, didn't actually find it funny, because we were just watching it being like, will this fella just talk to us and tell us where we stand? But yeah, he left it at that, and the next day I went home. That night I went home, I was playing 5-a-sides in North Avenue Flats with my pals. That just showed how much you enjoy football. And conversations, we just ran saying, look, it's not happening. Between you and a local lad, financially doesn't work out, but it's cheaper to sign there, was it? Cool, look, thanks so much. Really appreciate the opportunity you gave me. And where I'm going with this is that, even though that was a setback, it wasn't necessarily a downward spiral. It propelled me forward because it was like I've actually learned so much in the last couple of trials and months in regards to myself as an individual and playing football that I can bring this forward now. To which I did and helped me get to the under 17 Irish squads.
You're at Hamilton. You're playing, and your first game debut is against Celtic. Talk to me a little bit about that. Surely you can't hope for a better first game to go into.
No, I couldn't. I guess you couldn't as an Irish. And the reason why I do this because the whole Celtic thing is supposed to be very strong to us. And for me, it wasn't. For me, it was just like I don't really watch. Never did watch Scottish football growing up. It was always Man United. But it was a massive feeling because it was in Celtic Park and the crowd, and Celtic were very, very good side. But I had no other relation to them other than that. But I was buzzing the couple of days build up to it. But at the same time I was sad because it was Stephen's Day. And I was in the apartment on my own for Christmas Day.
I see.
You know, it's one of those things that even the day of you're like, you know, shit happens. You can go home to your family and have a good little Christmas dinner, or you can play against Celtic. Because the gaffer had originally opted to give me my debut the week before, which was Dundee United at home. Because I remember Stuart Taylor, assistant coach, he was a tremendous advisor at that time, him and Frankie McAvoy. Stuart had pulled me, being like, keep doing what you're doing. The gaffer's really, really fancy me, like, he's gonna put you in against Dundee. And I was like, ah, good one. And then he put me in the squad, and I was like, oh jeez, I'm on the bench here. They started pelting down snow. Unbelievably, like, could have smashed into windows, like hailstones galore. And the ref were like, can I call this off before it even starts? So that's how the Celtic thing came about.
Oh, I see.
When one door shuts, another one opens. But yeah, the day of it was amazing. But to be honest, I was just happy to be involved with the squad. I was happy to be on the bench. I didn't actually think I was going to play. All the other lads have been like, they'll give you a game today. I'm like, what makes you say that? I'm not guaranteed anything. I didn't do anything to be guaranteed this position. I'm on the bench and I'm happy with this for now. Because a year ago I couldn't get a game to do team. Less than a year ago. And then I think it was like last 7 minutes or something, we were 1-0 down, he was just like, big man, go warm up, and I was like, oh, sound. And all of a sudden you're jogging along and you just can't feel your legs and you're warming up and I was
legs
going,
like jelly.
he went to a tree at the back and put me in front of it, and he was just like, anything that moves within that area, hit him. He was like, get on the ball and move it. I was like, okay, sound. And it was a brilliant experience, it really was. I don't remember it. Only when I look back at photos do I. It's like watching you look at a photo which is a still photo frame, but you get a video from that.
I get you.
But yeah, it was really fantastic moment. It really was.
A lot of people can't turn around and say they've played at Celtic Park. I'd say it was just because they week in, week out, it's packed out and the noise is just incredible. Was that, I know you said, 7 minutes, but even though it's so short, I'd say it's just, that feeling was just unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a magnificent feeling, but again, like everything, and even now, I don't really dwell on things that happen yesterday, positive or not so positive. I'm like, right, on to the next task. Sometimes I should just relax and celebrate the moment for whatever reason. But where I'm going with this is that after that game, I was like, right, I am now in the first team squad. I need to work better, be better. I need to get to James McArthur's level. I need to start pushing myself on again. So that for me, it was great, but I was just like, right, I want to go back to the train tomorrow morning. That I was just hungry. I was just really hungry. And I didn't care about the 4.5 to start. Again, didn't bother me. I wasn't motivated for that. I just wanted to be a part of the first team and get the recognition for the hard work. And I did, because if I didn't train hard, I didn't train well, I wouldn't have been in that squad. I wasn't one of the best players in the youth team. Fact, I wasn't. Technically nowhere near it. There was many players better than me. I think what stood out for me was that, besides you're living on your own apartment, I was like, right, I don't really have much outside of football, so I want to actually just deploy myself after football training to more training.
Yeah.
So in New Douglas Park they'd have the pitch, which is beautiful, and me and my one of the teammates, we'd do sprints around it. We played 2-touch off a wall, or Stuart Taylor would come out and play 2-touch with us, just to test your touch, and it'd be coaching methods.
Yeah.
It's just a game, you wouldn't even realise it. So you're always under the eye, like Big Brother's always watching you. You know, I now want to look at young lads and yeah, they're hungry, or you say they're hungry and you have ambitions, which is fantastic, but I'm like, you know, your daily decisions determine your destiny. You know, and where I'm going with that is, I only got that chance because of everything I've done every day, consistently.
Repetition.
That was it, like. And like I said, after that Celtic game, that was just like, right, put it behind you and move on now. Now try and start.
Yeah. Hamilton lasted a year. So we'll go from that game against Celtic till the end of that season.
Probably 4 months, yeah. 4 months.
So
what had happened?
What happened?
Again, I had mentioned a year and a half before. I was in a whirlwind of situations with not knowing what to do. Again, didn't have much or many even good advisors. That I didn't. I don't admit it's no one's fault. I did not want to blame anyone. People helped me as much as they could, but obviously it wasn't the right decisions at that time. And where I'm going is after that Celtic game, there's a test you go through, and I guess in life you go through, and that's the great thing about life, we're always being tested. You would think it's all, you know, plain sailing from there, but it wasn't. Because the next day we had training with the first team, and then that was possibly my last training session with the first team for a week. I was back with the youth team, and I was like, what's going on here? Like, I thought I was up there, wasn't back here, even though I was only a youth team player. That was my age category. So I was really like chomping. I was at a train. I was like, I need to fucking show the gaffer again. I need to, you know, train harder, train better, train whatever, more at the time, because at the time I thought more was better. And they put me back with the first team. We were going to play Rangers in the Scottish Cup, which was in New Douglas Park on a Saturday, and I was on the bench. And we drew 0-0, and the replay then was on a Tuesday or a Wednesday in Ibrox. And I got the shout that I was starting. And I was like, fucking deadly.
Yeah.
You know, this is deadly. 12th of January, this is deadly. And then we got to the ground, and I wasn't even in the matchday squad. So when I was 18 years of age, I was like, wait, hold on a minute. You rang all my family to tell them I'm starting. You told me I'm starting. Now I'm not on the bench. So I was like, did I do something wrong here? And I couldn't sleep that night. I was just like, is it 8 o'clock? Is it 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
Straight to the training ground. Anxiety was through the roof. Didn't know what it was at the time, but now looking back, I understood it was anxiety. And I was like, knocking the camera's door. Again, I'm an 18-year-old, knocking the first time on his door, like, shouldn't have done that, realistically, shouldn't have done that. And I was like, what happened? He told me I was in the squad, and I was starting, and then I was on ball. And I was like, got to the traffic lights at the top of the hill before we turned to Ibrox. I was like, yeah, I remember. He said, just got to change your heart. And I was like, so you're telling me if those traffic lights are green and not red, I would have been playing? And I'm not messing. And he was like, yeah, probably, yeah. And I was like, again, 18 years of age, I was like, you're fucking winding me up.
Yeah.
So, I was too big for my boots at that time. Really was. And I'd also just show there was no communication lines there either. You know? And then from that we went out and trained. And I was so angry, and I just levelled everyone. And I made sure my team won every game, and I made sure I won every competition there was in training. And then Stuart was like, Gaffer's buzzing with you today. And I was like, I don't know what sort of mind games you are playing. I was like, but I'm actually sick. Like. Again, 18 years of age, like I'm talking about. And I guess this is life, it tests you in many of ways. And that was the last time I trained with the first team. That was the last time. That was training break, let's say 14th, 14th. And the next time I trained with them was early March, because hadn't seen my family in so long. Not that I missed them, I just wanted to escape from that environment, because I was like, I don't know where I stand here. You know, I was just quite confused at a very young age, and I just wanted to go home just to escape from football. And I can see as to why a lot of players, if they go through too much of that negative emotion, they actually just detach themselves from sport. So I came home for a week, went back to Harry McHugh's false course, and trained with them, and I got to really enjoy football for what it was again. And Stuart and Harry had a very good relationship, Stuart Taylor and Harry. And Stuart would be ringing up, you know, how is John? I was still a Hamilton player. Hamilton just gave me a week off, just to come and chill out, like. So I went back on the Friday morning. I lied Thursday night in the press week, and I was forced going to the training ground on Friday morning because I had a youth team game against St. Mirren and a friendly. I was really excited. I was going, I'm happy, right, this is my level, I understand this is my level, 19's on my level. Maybe the first team, that was all just for, well done, you trained well, and you know, at that level it was just a reward. Okay, I got to that point, I understood it. But then that day, that morning, I was going out with the first team, youth team on the bus, and Frankie, McAvoy, lovely guy, he's now way impressed, and what I like now. He was like, big man. I was like, what, Frank? He was like, you're going to train with the first team. And I was like, I don't want to train with the first team. I was like, I want to play with the 19s. I was like, I want to go play again. He's like, you're going to train with the first team. He's like, Gaff, I want you. And I was like, this is where my mindset was. I was like, what, does he want me to collect the balls? Does he want me to stand in the bushes for shots? You know, I wasn't necessarily believing my ability. I was very confused. I was like, cool, yeah, let's go with the first team. And again, I was just very angry because I was confused. Again, put in a good session. And I was absolutely exhausted mentally and physically. So I was just chilling after training. In the changing room, lads were going home, I only had to walking distance. And I just heard Danny, the kit man, still there, lovely guy, just whistling, as he does. I was like, you know what, I'm going to go help Danny. So I went and helped Danny. Thankfully enough I did, because he taught me how to fold close. Yeah, to this day I still use the technique. And then I helped him, and I seen my number being put into the kit basket, and I was like, okay, I'm in the squad. Again, didn't know where I stood, didn't really believe in myself. So I was like, maybe I'm in the squad, and I just kept bombing in the stand. And again, only a year before that I was winning everything with balls and crumbing, so it was literally up and down, and I guess that's life. But at the time, when you're 18, you don't understand that. So that night, I actually went to play bowling with a house friend of mine, James Gibson. He was injured, ACL injury. We went at like 3 o'clock in the morning to play bowling. I know.
That's a first.
It's absolutely disgraceful. I guess I couldn't sleep. I was very restless. I had pains in my chest for a good few weeks, and at the time I didn't know what it was. Looking back, it was more like anxiety. So we went and played bowling, got home at 4 in the morning. Again, none of us drank alcohol. We went to sleep. And like Ireland's situation being late, with the Liverpool walk and all the rest of it, it's funny, like, you don't realise these situations are out to occur, and how you apply yourself is different. And it's why we should always be on the ball regardless of the situation. And I was just chilling, I was just literally just like this, I think Dave Yellowhair's here, and Mark McLaughlin, if I'm right, was just sitting there. And across me was James Gibson standing up, and I was just like, you know, he's like close to Cap's coming out team. And he's like, in midfield, he's like Jamesy and Big Sullo, and I was like, and Dave's like, you're starting, big man. And across me is James Gibson, just like this, just choking. And the gaffer walked down the room, and he says to me, he goes, I bet you wish you had fell asleep well last night. And I was like, I am exhausted. Yeah. But I was just like, right, forget about it, you're playing now, you know, head on the game. And where I'm going with this is, regardless of these situations, and I know it's easier said than done, but we should always apply ourselves right. And it was from that moment on, I realised, no matter where you think you are in the pecking order, you know, the top of the mountain is literally just 1 foot away. Yeah. So keep moving. And always be ready. Yeah, always be ready. Yeah, so that was my last game. I started, played well. The reason why I'm saying play well is he told me I played well. I actually can't remember the game. It was 0-0 when it came off after 60 minutes, and from that game, I didn't train the first time again. So I just didn't know where I stood, and then he offered me a new contract. And I was like, I'm very, very confused here.
Yeah.
And I'm sure at the time my parents were like, you know, worried about you. You're starting to not enjoy football. You're not very positive when we speak to you. You know, because I wasn't a positive guy during these moments.
Yeah.
My mom was like, you know, why don't you just come home if you want? Like, you know, I guess she's concerned about her son. And I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, good idea. Let's just get out of here. Again, didn't realise that I was one step away from possibly starting in the summer because James McCarthy had went to Wigan. But yeah, that's how it all happened.
Just touching on that, it seems to be like that was more so a guessing game over there. Like, what do you?
Yeah, like, do you know what? I guess that's life. Not saying that is life. I guess, you know, we never truly know where we stand at times, but it doesn't mean we should give up. You know, and I'm not trying to say I wish I changed the past, far from. You know, I wouldn't be with my wife. I would be sitting right here with you.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm very happy with how life's turned out. But for those aspiring to be footballers or whatever may that be in life, you know, just keep doing what you think is right and apply yourself correctly.
Yeah. We'll touch on a little bit. You come home then, sign for Limerick. Tell me a little bit about the experience there.
Pat Scully, yeah, amazing guy. How I got involved with Pat was that I was clubless. I didn't know how football in Ireland worked outside of under 20s football. So I was like, I actually assumed that because I was in some sort of a category / pool of people over here in the UK that I was entitled. I was like, oh, maybe every club will come looking for me.
Yeah.
You know, and you get back and they're like, no one wants you. And rightly so, because you haven't proven yourself to anybody. You know, and I still see it today with young lads who come back, they feel entitled because they're in a category. You know, and it's just because you're in that category doesn't mean you're actually better than this person in this category. Because there was a lot of very good footballers in Ireland my age, and better than me at the time. They just didn't get that opportunity for whatever reason. But where I'm going with this is, I was clubless, so I asked Harry, could I go back and train with his false group? And he was like, yeah, cool. Again, I just wanted to stick to the routine. I was a big, had a big thing on structure. So I trained with Harry's false course. And he said, we're actually going out to the hotel out by Kildare, I can't think of the name, Johnstown Spa Hotel. And we're doing like UEFA A and Pro license.
Filling in as players.
And I was like, yeah, cool, whatever. No one else did on me day. I'm going to play. And Pascal, he just says to me after the session, he's like, really playing for him? I was like, no. He's like, would you be interested in having a chat? I was like, yeah, of course. Didn't know who Limerick was. Didn't know where Limerick was. That's the God honest truth. It's terrible to say. And I met him for a lovely chat, and he is a lovely guy. I didn't know anyone that worked with him previously. And even when I signed, they were all like, oh, Pat's mad, Pat's... And I was like, I don't know what Pat you're talking about. He's actually a lovely guy, like.
Yeah.
And he was a lovely guy, and I was delighted with getting to work with him. And Limerick was a fantastic experience for me. It really was.
Good stuff. Played in the league for a long period. Had stints at numerous clubs. Is there any club or campaign that sticks out to you in particular?
I know, yeah, of course. I think I'm not sitting talking. Yeah, it was a very good year with the Dock. It really was. For the simple fact that I was playing, because I was with Shells 2 years previous after leaving Limerick, and I was going through the whole Hamilton thing again. Literally. So when I was in the Shells environment, that you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out. Manager telling me literally, you are not going to play for my team, just leave. Those exact words, and I'm like, I'm not leaving. I'm better than him, and I'll show you. So again, I'm very grateful I went through that experience in Hamilton, because when it happened again a year and a half later, I was like, been here. You know, been here. I'm not going to close the door in my own face. But the dog was very, very great. It it was a very, very good year. But again, as an individual, as a person outside of the sport, it was a very confusing year. Because I didn't know what I wanted to be.
Okay.
I never seen myself as a footballer within Ireland. Maybe because it's not taken serious. I just seen it as a paid hobby. And I didn't actually apply myself correctly when I was there. And where I'm going with this is, I actually put more emphasis into my work in the gym than I did football. Like again, I was at every session, I slept well, I ate well, I trained well. But if I had have decreased this load, I would have increased this load. And the seesaw would have almost balanced out or tipped its favour in the dog. Or me being a professional or full-time footballer. And that's one thing I noticed when I came back to Ireland, was that no one really takes football. Not known. It's not classed as a job, unfortunately. We're trying to make that become a job. Again, there's 4 or 5 clubs in the league that pay the players fantastic, that's their job. Hopefully there's many more to come. But at the same time, I'm very grateful because what we go through here, sooner than those in the UK and other countries, is later, where you have to decide, not decide, but educate yourself and have a life outside of the sport. So when sport wasn't going well from here, I didn't mind because I had a job and I was happy outside. So I'm not trying to say just focus on one thing, if that's what comes across as, far from it. But going back to it, Dundalk was a fantastic year, but I was very confused as a person. But I'd say the most overall, the happiest I've been and the best I've enjoyed, most enjoyed, be the year between I was at Galway to playing with Bray. And again, that was nothing got to do with either club or either players or staff, besides our lovely coaches and managers. It was just me as an individual actually finding my own feet and being happy within my own world. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
And then I could project that into playing sport. And I don't think people understand that when they're looking at athletes, especially footballers, because we're talking about soccer, of course, and they're like, he's being paid X, like, he should be amazing. And how did he fuck up and just, you're like, hold on a minute, he's probably having a miserable time outside of the sport, probably really dislikes his life. We don't know people, but we just conclude on what we see in 90 minutes. Sorry, I'm probably going off topic.
No, but it concludes there what you said, cause you could say this could go broad to any player, cause he earns this amount, he should be doing that. But as you said, you've seen, I'll probably use Daniel James as an example, things with he's playing with United, things with his father and stuff like that, and I think it's clear, a lot of people need to take into consideration life outside of football. It has a massive effect.
Yeah,
so
of course. And
just because you earn a certain amount of money doesn't mean that.
And just because you have X doesn't mean you're actually content with life. Not many people are. Unfortunately, and that's why I keep using the word advisories. That we all need them. And especially we're talking about soccer, especially in soccer, footballers need advisories. And especially to keep educating themselves in life. Because life itself is a massive challenge. Soccer's just a sport.
So at Dundalk, Stephen Kenny was the manager. He's now the Irish senior manager. What was it like working under him?
It was phenomenal, very intense. He's extremely intense guy. His backroom staff are very good, very organised. The players he brought in, great lads, all hungry, all had a point to prove, and that's his niche. That's what he does. He gets players who want to become successful, not has-beens. Who won the league 10 years ago by doing nothing. Doesn't want those people. He wants hungry people, like sponges that just soak in information. Very good. He believes in himself, and again, after going through that period from Hamilton, Shelbourne, etc., I didn't really believe in myself. I was like, am I good? I didn't play football. Not that serious. I didn't think I could make something of it anymore. Didn't actually think I could back over to the UK. Didn't think it was a thing. Thought that was it. This is me in Ireland for life now. Of course, I met Stephen, and he was like, he would every day he'd come in with not just a pep talk or something motivational like I would gladiator, far from it, but something meaningful to him. He's he's quite philosophical. But again, like I said, if you say such things like, you know, this town you're playing for, the Dock, you know, it's a sleeping joint and it hasn't been awoken in X number of years, and we're all like, what's he on about? You know, but when it sinks in then you way home and you're like in the car and he's like, alright. And this is the thing we see in sports fans. They thrive off the success of the club. That then projects onto their own emotion.
Yeah.
You know, and we seen then the better we were doing on a Friday night, the more fans were coming out, the happier we were. So you're like, right, this is what it's all about. And he's like, you can bring this club to heights that it's never been at. And you as a player can go to heights you've never been at. So again, working with him brought the flames back into my life. Sounds very emotional, but yeah, it was a fantastic year. And again, at the end of that year, for whatever reason, I just didn't know.
Yeah. Just from hearing a lot of people talk about Stephen Kenny, he sounds like a great guy, but also like a great manager. And you mentioned like small things like the sleeping giant, like that is me having this chat now. That'll kind of stick with me. Just two words like that, you know. So it's
he's a lovely guy. He really is, and that's what people forget to realise when they're coaches and managers. You can read whatever book you want. You can take snippets and quotes from whatever. But a person understands when you don't give a flying F about them and you only want them to perform like a robot.
Yeah.
And then the opposite, whereas him and many others I've worked with, they actually care about you as an individual. And when you have that relationship as he does with his players, because he does care about people, he really does, you know, then you're willing to jump through hoops whilst believing in yourself, because he's injecting your belief.
Yeah. That season 2014 with Dundalk, finished runners up. You played a good lot of games that year.
Yeah, that's what interesting.
Yeah. So, as you said, it didn't turn out. You end up with Shelbourne. Then is that a case of going from, as you said, a sleeping giant, you could say, Dundalk the previous year, battling relegation, then you finish runners up. Is that a sense of disappointment that you're going from a team that's on the rise and you're going to Shelbourne, or what's kind of running through your mind?
Yeah, again, when I got let go from Dundalk, like I said, I still didn't know how football within Ireland worked. Again, I thought because my team came second, and I came second the year before with Drogheda, that I must be a good player. So now others may look at me, but they didn't. And no one actually came contacting me, except Johnny Mack at Shells, and Johnny is a family friend, so I was like, cool. And to be honest, I actually signed back for Shells because I wanted to win the league, the first division, because we didn't win it the year that I was there, what Alan Matthews. We got to the final. And I wanted to make something better that I had done in the Cork game, last game of the season. I had made a decision on the ball, and within 30 seconds later they went and scored from one end to the other. Still to this day it plays in my mind when I sit back and think about football. So I wanted the Summer Shells to try and delete that and win the league. And that year for me I got injured, and it was actually a terrible year in regards to football. But a great year in regards to life, because I was like, right, if I'm injured now, I need to start looking at the football. And so that whole seesaw effect, football was like hit the floor. Life itself, work, and everything else, I put all my energy into it. So I guess everything happens for a reason.
I just want to touch on contracts and stuff. Very controversial here in the league. Like apart from you look at, as you said, there's probably 4 or 5 teams now at the moment that are playing. Like majority, you'd say Dundalk and Rovers are playing 52 weeks. Obviously you've been around the league for numerous years. How do you cope with a season-long contract? As you mentioned there, you had in that you've just talked about you need to concentrate on life outside of football and work. So I just want to know personally how do you kind of juggle that?
It's very difficult, to be honest. It's very difficult. Again, we talk about the person and not so much the player, because as a person, I need to be stable. You know, I need to be emotionally and mentally stale within my life to perform in any area or department. And the other side of that, your partner also was like, right, so we're here for a year, are we gone next year, or what is the plan? And you're putting everything on hold in education and work for this 1 year contract. Again, you're playing top level football in the league, which is a fantastic achievement. But like I said, when it's over, it's cut short in November, and then you're back in January, where you're trying to find that identity. It's an identity crisis again. Those 3 months of the year, every year. It's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult, and again, I'm very lucky I haven't experienced what others don't have a life outside of football. You know, and just for the mental health aspect of it alone, it should be taken more serious. Because I'd imagine these players who don't have an education, a workplace outside of soccer, football, during those 3 months of the darkest months of the year, what it was, you know, they're probably going through the mill. You know, and the governing bodies don't necessarily give a flying F. And then the other side of it is, in regards to being a footballer, that when you go back in January, it's like, oh, I've just lost all my ability for the last 3.5 months because I haven't kicked the ball.
Yeah, it's crazy. We'll touch on that little aspect of outside from November. Just say I know the league doesn't start back till March, but pre-season starts in January. Air Sport released that programme of the league which you featured in, which is run by the PFUI. So I want to just talk a little bit about that. I just seen the programme was an hour long. How beneficial do you think that camp actually is?
Phenomenal. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. And I know if majority of players weren't signed up prior to that camp, they'd all be on it. What clubs do is they actually sign players up. They sign players up so they can they're players. It's like a hoarder, but yet they don't pay them until X date. So the players are contracted with a club, don't get paid, and yet don't train till maybe first week of January. So they have all of December, and they're like, I just want to train with a group. I want to train with being coached. I don't want to train on my own. So for me, I'd be quite happy that I'm contractless during that moment. Well, when I was a player, because I got to experience that again. And like I said, with the Regional Development Squad, being a kid, I can, as an adult now, you still get to play with all these other players from different teams that you never knew. You didn't even know them on a game day. And even at that, you're like, I don't necessarily know you. I know this persona you put on during these 90 minutes. You know, you could be an absolute twat during this game, and off the pitch you're a lovely guy. I don't know you. But where I'm going, this is with the PFU's help in putting all these sessions on, and of course the great coaches that do them. You're not only just getting training, physical, technical, tactical, you're also meeting new players. You know, and that's a great thing about sport. And why I strongly believe kids need to play. It's because you meet so many people in life. You know, that will help you along the way. It's based around it's kind of an advanced question more or less, because you're talking about controversial with contracts and stuff like that. So I do want to talk about it. You're at Braden in 2017, which is kind of a controversial year in itself, I suppose, at that club. What was that season like for you, and your whole kind of concept of having to pay for your own operation and things like that? It was a great season. Great season. On the pitch, great season until that point. In around that point, we did conform, of course, because everybody was very unsure. And it was a terrible moment for the league, not just the club, not just for me or the player, for the league. Because the league every year gets to new heights. I know there's a lot of stuff going on at the moment. But every year gets to new heights in regards to standards of players. And at that moment in time, we should have been talking about Dundalk in Europe, Shamrock Rovers exceeding, Cork exceeding. But we weren't just talking about break, not being paid, you know. You don't really want this happening. And you don't want your league to be known for it. But yeah, it did, and it was a terrible time. Like I said, for those, especially when we had one income, Terrible time for them. I was injured, I was just like quite helpless because there wasn't a protocol. There wasn't a who do I go to and here's the standard procedure when you're injured. I was just chasing up that end of it, which was a loose end. And my injury actually wasn't bad, believe it or not. It was a small operation, you're back on the pitch 6 weeks later. It's just that it was dragged out financially. They didn't tell me at the time, nor for a couple of weeks did he have the money. And if they had just told me from day one, I would have went and got the operation. And sorry, I'm not actually. Yeah, I would have went and got the operation, paid for it, and would have been back on to hopefully help my team stay above relegation.
Yeah, you touched there actually just on the pitch. Like I remember that season, fan of League of Ireland myself. Like when you look back, he's actually had a very good time. Like the likes of yourself, Aaron Ryan, Keith Buckley.
Wow, amazing football. Gary McCabe put the ball in. You name a corner, he's pointing.
Yeah, what a player.
Yeah. Yeah, wow, what a player.
So that's what
Conor Kennett, Tim Clancy, Ryan Brennan, Mark Sound was there.
Yeah.
Wow, very
So that's what I mean to say, like it must be kind of disheartening when you have a squad like he's had and then that off the field issues is happening. Like it must be difficult.
Yeah, it was difficult. Again, luckily all those players plus many more that I didn't, they were all great lads and at times we saw the funny side of it.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess if you don't laugh, you cry.
Sure. And
we laughed and we had the banter and everything else around it. But yeah, it was a disgraceful moment, and Brian had taken over by Noel O'Driscoll, which is far from the previous, and the club will never be in that position again, thankfully. And again, if that didn't happen, you know, we could be in that situation now, but God knows who. And thankfully it did. And the reason why I say thankfully is because we only learn from past experiences. Well, some do. You know, and with the PFU's assistance, that should never happen again.
Finished out with Bray 2019. Got back playing at the South. A lot of people say that even top tier could be Munster League or LSL. How do you rate top tier, say amateur level, compared to say First Division or even Premier Division as well?
Technical ability, there's no doubt about it. The technical ability of majority of players in the league is and are capable of playing Air 3 City League football. That's it. Technical ability, yes. But you're talking about the seesaw effect. Football to them is just a hobby. It's escapism from life or enjoyment from life.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose all of this for this.
Yeah.
You know, they're happy again. Some chase money and fame, some chase happiness. That's the decision. The other side is, can they apply themselves? Again, you've got to decrease hours in work and life and everything to just play catch up with those in the Year 3 City League. So all the hours accumulate. And the question I would always ask them, even when I was at Crumlin, would you play if the offer came? And they're like, I'm happy right now.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I understand. But they're very, very good players and they're well capable of playing. And that's why you see when the FAI Cup comes and everyone's like, oh jeez, I'm shocked, you know. Crumlin B. I'm like, why are you shocked? Why are you shocked? Like, they're a very good side. From 1 to 16 are very, very good players. And even if you look at their pedigree as individuals, they've all played at top level football all the way up there. They're youth, they're being coached by very, very good coaches. You know, they've just opted for different decisions in life outside of sport. That's it really. And I hope in time top teams in Leinster Senior, maybe Munster Senior, I don't know much about them, they can go into the First Division. I don't know the political side of that, I don't know the financial side of it, but they're definitely good enough.
Yeah.
Definitely good enough.
Life outside of football, you've gone down the coaching route. You've had a UEFA B licence, which is great to have. How's your coaching journey going so far? You're with DLR Waves.
How's my coaching journey going? That's a good question. I'm enjoying it. That's the main thing. I'm really enjoying it. I'm very lucky I get to work with the Waves. I mean Graham Kelly. Graham coached me at Bray. And again, as a player, you don't think too much. Of course you do, but you don't see what goes on. And I knew Graham was a very good coach and he was a lovely person, but I didn't realise how great he was until working with him. And now that I'm working with him, I'm just like, every day I have this moment, I'm just like, thank fuck I'm working with Graham. I'm just like, he's so good, I learned so much from him. And that's the truth, I learned so much from him. And all the other staff, like Ave and Dara, teams are goalkeeping coaches, even physios. We've got a great relationship, all of us. And Graham has brought that environment on himself. It's funny because, we hear like a manager, like the role of manager. You're like, what did he manage? He managed a team at a club. He manages the club.
Yeah.
He does absolutely everything. He's a phenomenal guy, and like I said, I'm very, very lucky to be his understudy. So for me, as a forced coaching role, Jesus, I couldn't have asked for that.
Yeah.
Really couldn't have.
Quality. Where do you hope then, is it playing in the Women's National League, what do you hope to kind of achieve, I suppose, as a team? And then for yourself, are you kind of looking next ladder, UEFA A, or what's your situation?
I thought about applying to the UEFA A last year, and I decided not to because I wanted to study psychology, clinical psychology, that something I'm very interested in. My UEFA A, I'll apply for again in time to come. But right now I think studying clinical psychology will actually help me become a better version of me, first of all, to understand me before I can try and understand anyone else or coach anyone else. Secondly, in regards to the Waves, we're looking to get it as high as we can on the table, of course, but mostly to improve all the players, because they're phenomenal footballers. They really are absolutely phenomenal footballers, every single one of them. It's only this year and maybe 4 months into the end of last year I started actually looking at women's football in Ireland, of course, because no one talks about it. Very sadly no one talks about it. It doesn't get enough highlights. And I was staying in the game and I was like, the Wales game, and I was like, Jesus Christ, these guys are good. And I was like, I question myself what it goes on. I have this quite often. I'm like, what do you mean they're good? Of course they're good. I was like, well, I was assuming they wouldn't be good because they wouldn't have accumulated hours. Because you'd quicker see young lads running around playing football in the streets than you would girls. And again, I guess this is down to society and the rules / oppression it brings in. And where I'm going with this is, like, the WNL is a very, very, very good standard. It's international standard if you think about it. It's a fantastic standard, and as a coach and our coaching staff, we hope to increase that standard. Of course, with every other coaching staff in the country. But we hope, again, we can inject belief and hope into the players, because they are fantastic footballers, fantastic people. And not just wives, many girls in Irish sports, soccer, from what I've seen so far, they don't necessarily believe in themselves because no one has actually told them how good they are, 2, that you can actually make a career from this, and 3, you're a role model to that young girl underneath you. And to be honest, I don't actually think I want to go back to men's football. I don't. I actually really enjoy where I'm at. And I hope to be one of many to improve the standard, not just from coaching, but whatever else I can offer to improve the standard overall. That I'd love to see one day where WNL is in stadiums, Tala, Inchicore, UCD. They should be the top standard football in the country. They should be. Of course, we need to get the men's game going in whatever direction it's going in before we can then finance the girls. Well, not before the girls can then be paid, because I do believe,
it should be the case.
Yeah, they should be. They should be subsidised. They should be getting paid. They shouldn't be having to pay fees. Really shouldn't have to pay top level senior football. And I hope to God that it will happen. It's in great hands with Eileen Gleeson and Vera Powell and many other coaches underneath them, that women's football in Ireland will progress and we can get into a World Cup. But again, where I'm going to is we don't really highlight it, unfortunately, and I should be highlighted. Like I know Larkview have a girls team, and apparently they're one of the best teams in their 15th, 16th in the division. And yeah, I don't see any
recognition.
I don't see any Larkview girls signs anywhere. I see Larkview boys. You know, should be Larkview boys and girls. You've got a girls team. You know, and these are all things again I wouldn't have noticed. Well, I probably would have, but not as much until I'm in the game. I'm sorry if I'm going off topic, but
you're alright.
it's just.
You're covering good points. Like it's things that you're mentioning aren't talked about enough. So you're right to talk about it. So.
And the whole quote of, you know, she can't see, she can't be. You know, dead right. Dead right. You know, we need to put someone up there. There is people there. You know, I love seeing Katie McCabe, Rihanna Jarrett, Dion Caldwell, Kelly Harrington, the Irish women's hockey team. You know, Katie Taylor. Don't just put them up when they win. Put them up and leave them up there. Leave them up there for the rest of the city, you know? Because every day we look in the paper, there's a Robbie Keane, or there's a Aaron Connolly, or...
I know what you mean.
You know? And I'd love to see the WLL have a page of their own in the paper. Again, hopefully in time it will. And that's just WLL, of course, then there's GAA wanting theirs too, but in general I think, you know, we need to really push
women's football.
There's no doubt about it.
Last two questions to wrap it up. We'll go your playing career. Best player you've played with and against.
Tough one. With best player I've played with. Of course I'll say Richie. Richie. Sure.
Can't argue with that to be fair.
No, fantastic footballer. Best player I've ever played against. At that moment in time, Gail killed.
Really,
Played with France in the 17th. Played with Chelsea. He ripped everyone up on the pitch. Just couldn't touch it. No one could. I would like to say to Thiago Alcantara, but I sat on the bench that day. I didn't actually get to step on the pitch. Gail killed it.
So, best memory or moment in football?
Tough one. Very tough one. I'm gonna say it was obviously, but it was with Bray. It was with Bray. It was actually, I couldn't pick one memory because there was so many great ones. From being Derry so many times to being Dundalk and Cork, and just that year of the financial difficulty was actually a lot of memories, positive memories in sport, in the games, like. But
well, what do you think that was just because how
punch.
you performed as a team and how close you were as?
Great punch.
Good stuff. Last question then. Pick your best 11 for me. If you
best
can.
11, good question. Goalkeepers, right.
What formation are you going to go with, or do you know yet?
1-4-3-3. Played on one game, was Thomas Shearney, very good goalkeeper. Centre half would be Andy Boyle. Unbelievable. Wow, what a centre half. Second centre half, then I'm looking at Mark McLaughlin, again, only played one game. Left back, best left back I played with. I'd say Kevin Lynch. Upright.
Phenomenal. Very good.
I know those Dundalk fans won't hear it. Happy to say that when they talk about down to a classic player. But Kevin is a very, very, very good player. And I don't think he realises at times the ability he has. Right back. Stuck for right back. I don't even remember anything. I'll come back to that. In midfield will obviously be Richie Towell. It will be Stephen O'Neill from right. And in the 10 would be Gary McCabe. Yeah, it really would be. Left wing you're looking at, I'd say Aaron Green. Pat Hogan on top. Goals galore that is. And on the right hand side in midfield, Conan Bourne played my shells. Put the ball in the box from anywhere in the pitch.
Plenty of goals as well.
Yeah, so I'm missing out on a right back. Who am I missing out on? Porrick Ormsby. Played him in the Irish in the 17s and Hamilton. Yeah, those that would have played in my era of football would have remembered him. Yeah, what a footballer. And he'd kick you, me and every single wall in this place. Yeah, but a phenomenal footballer.
Right, great.
Thank you.
time out. Really enjoyed it. Really, it's great to hear your opinion on the game and stuff like that, and your playing career. I wish you all the best, coaching journey, and then outside as well with your personal training and new business and stuff like that. And I'll keep in touch.